right, so before I get started, I'd like to introduce my partner in crime, Fishbone. Now, Fishbone, he comes with a lot of professional experience, and he loves fishing for new ideas and new ways to use technology in the classroom. His professional experience, he has a lifetime Arizona fishing license and trout stamp. His ambitions include fishing, of course, mobile technology, innovation, and gaming. He also wanted me to let the audience know that he's single and still looking.
Wow, what a large audience. You didn't tell me there were going to be so many people when I agreed to speak.
Yeah, sorry about that, Fishbone, but you'll be okay. This is a really nice group of people. So a lot of times in the workplace, we have career goals that we just seem to never have time to accomplish. So there's ways, and it could be career goals, starting a blog, getting published, maybe working on that next certification or degree, but we just don't have time or make time. Is it a lack of will, lack of confidence? I don't know. Maybe we just need some motivation. So how many of your workspaces look similar to this? Anybody? A few? I see a few hands.
Well, that looks boring.
I agree. It can get pretty boring. So sometimes we just need to maybe gamify our career a little bit in order to motivate us to get to the next step.
Jeanette, what are you talking about? Do these people look like gamers to you? Whoa. Would you check out those apps on that lady's iPad?
Are they gaming apps? Well, I don't know. How many of you consider yourselves as gamers? Any gamers in the crowd? I see a few hands. Okay, it's funny because my husband's always saying, you're not a gamer, but you have this fascination with gaming. Well, I do like to game. I just don't play games on the Xbox console like he does for hours. Okay, I play a different game. I play the education game, constantly challenging myself. So that's what a career game is about. You want to create a game that's going to help you to advance your career. So it doesn't matter whether you're a student, whether you're a faculty, or you're still exploring careers. You're just wanting to create a game that will keep you on task and challenge you along the way. So in order to do that, you first establish your gamer profile. Or if you're creating a game for a class of students, you establish gamer profile for your students.
A what? A gamer profile? Can't we just start playing? Darn it, I just knew you were going to make this complicated.
Well, we could go ahead and just start playing, but we'd probably still never accomplish those career goals we've really been meaning to accomplish. So one such tool, when we talk about gamer profile, this is part of Aaron Dignan's game frame. He actually has a book on this whole game frame. So if you want to know more, you can explore that at a later date. But within the gamer profile, you have a spectrum of characteristics or traits, and you identify where you fit on that spectrum.
Enjoyment, freedom, and social interest describe me. What about the folks in the audience? They look like overachievers who like structure to me. I don't think we should invite them into our game because they will be all about themselves.
Well, that's the beauty of the game frame and coming up with a gamer profile. If you want to play a game by yourself, you can. You create it, you play it by yourself. However, if you like the social aspect, then you design the game based on involving other people and making it social. So here we have the spectrum, and we'll get a closer screen of this in a minute. But at different ends of the spectrum, to start out with, achievement or enjoyment of the experience. Well, with my game that I've put together, I couldn't really decide between the two, so I actually weighed in on both ends of the spectrum with this one. So I'm wanting to meet a goals, but I'm also wanting to enjoy the experience. So there's other lines of the spectrum where you actually want to consider what end your players are going to be at. Because someone wanting to achieve goals and someone wanting to enjoy the experience, faculty achieving goals, students enjoying the experience, two completely different type of games. So we're going to look a little bit more at this gamer profile spectrum.
Let's try out this game frame. Turn to your neighbor and share which end of the spectrum motivates you the most. And make it quick. You have 60 seconds. Go.
Excellent idea, Fishbone. Let's get the audience involved here and see where they fit at on this spectrum. So look at the spectrum. The first line, you have achievement of goals, enjoyment of experience. The second line is structure and guidance or freedom to explore. The other one is control of others or the acceptance of others. And then the last line, you're deciding between self-interest in actions or social interest in actions. So take 60 seconds, turn to your neighbor, and figure out where you fall on the spectrum. Go. Okay, you have about 15 seconds. Okay, everybody. Okay, you're quieting down, so I think you're about finished. So a couple people yell out, where do you fall on the spectrum, or what really stands out the most if you're designing a game for yourself? Freedom, freedom to explore. Enjoyment. The right side in general, okay. Anyone else? Okay, how about your students? If you're thinking about if you're going to design a game for students, where do you think that would be? Okay, so you can see where establishing a gamer profile can be important before designing a game. So with my game, now what I did, I actually got this idea from a blogger. It was a guy trying to get into the game industry, and he was having a hard time getting in, and he didn't understand the industry and what to do to get there. So I got the idea from him where he started designing a game, putting in points, achievements, and everything, and encouraging people from the industry to give him challenges so he could learn more about the industry and maybe, make the connections to get in. So I took that concept, we've been blogging back and forth a little bit, trying to build upon it and trying to figure out a tool to use. And so with this spectrum and the gamer profile for me, I decided to go, I do want to do achievement and goals, but it is about enjoyment experience. So that one's a toss-up. But with the next one, definitely freedom to explore. I have a fine arts background. I used to teach art, so I love the freedom to explore. And then next, it was definitely acceptance of others, because I'm not worried about controlling anyone else. It's just me exploring and wanting to learn more, and being accepted by others will help connect me in my field of learning technology. And then last, I decided with social interest, and the reason was it would motivate me. Okay, so sometimes I go with self-interest, but with this, I decided I needed social interest. So for the career game, the objective of my career game, the one I'm designing, was that I wanted to stay current in my field of study, which is learning technologies, instructional technologies, and I wanted to be a contributing member of that field. So I was trying to design a game that would help me to do that. And some of you may know I've worked on some grant work for Maricopa, but recently moved to the Instructional Technologist job in MCLI. So I really, really wanted to get up to speed and make sure I stay current in my field. It's important that I do that. So this was just a way to motivate myself.
Jeannette, you have a few folks in the audience right now playing games on their phone and not paying attention. How rude. Hey, what are you playing? I'm logging in so I can play too while Jeannette explains our game.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Fishbone. So I'll take it from here and explain the game a little bit. So I start looking at tools. My husband, he actually works for Intel. He is a programmer. For some reason, I haven't been able to convince him to program my game for me. He even wants to get into the gaming industry, and that's part of the problem. He's focused on doing a game that's going to get him in and not doing a game for me. But I'm like, I'll have a wide audience. It's education. There might be opportunity there. So I started looking for tools that I could use and actually do my game. So, of course, good old Google came up with a Google form. I like the idea of daily challenges or weekly challenges to challenge me to do something in order to stay updated or connected. So I wanted to use Google Form as a way to submit challenges, whether it's me submitting challenges or other people submitting challenges for me, or other people wanting to play and getting in on the challenges. So the Google Form allowed challenges to be submitted. In addition to that, some of you guys are lurkers. There are certain communities I lurk in because I don't really want to be, I don't want people to know who I am, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, but I want to be a part of it. So this Google Form would allow people to see what's going on and see the activity and privately play on their own if they want to, okay? So they could be a lurker and still be involved. However, I also created a link for those people that want to totally immerse themselves into the gaming environment and get involved. They could actually join. Excuse me. And there is a URL there. I've actually put this up on the MCLI website. I've introduced it to my instructional technologist, and I was just playing around with the idea. And I may end up just playing it on my own, and that's fine. But if anyone wants to join in and experiment with me, there's the link. You're welcome to join me. So the other tool I came up with is 3D Game Lab. We came across this because we're using it in a grant that we're working on. So some of you have heard of it, but I searched and searched and searched, and there's not really suitable tools for what I want. So this was the next best thing. And even with the guy that blogs, we went back and forth, hey, what tool? Have you found a tool? No, I don't have a tool. And I'm like, why don't you just do a tool? You're wanting to get into the gaming industry and actually program games. Why don't you just write it for us? So this is the tool I decided on. And the reason is it allows me to put those challenges in. So I can take a challenge, put it in, track it. Other people can view it. Other people can play it. The other thing I can do, I can take a series of challenges that might be related and actually add a narrative to it. And then you got the whole gaming infrastructure. So those people, those of you that are competitive, you can hop in there and you can keep track of your gamer score. You can check the leaderboard and see how you're comparing to your peers. Sometimes I get into what's my score, where I'm at. Other times it's like, nah, I just like playing. So you could do that too. Also, if you have a social interest and you're kind of competitive in a different way, there's a rating system for the challenges or quest. And what that is as people complete the quest, you can rate the experience. So some people may want to just get in and build instructionally designed really good quest and see if they can keep the rating system up, just, tracking stars. So they could care less if they're playing the game or if they're actually keeping track of the scores. They can actually just compete by making really good quality quests.
Hey, wouldn't this also make a great game for students? It could be a way to encourage further exploration of a field or career.
Excellent idea, Fishhook. This could definitely be used with students in a content area. Maybe you want students to stay up to date with current events in your field, or maybe you want them to explore a career that interests them. So you could set up a little series of challenges or a game and have them working outside of the classroom to actually challenge themselves. So yeah, it is a way to motivate students too. And the best part of gamifying your career, rewards. You build in those things that you've wanted and you don't have a good excuse of why you should spend the money to go get it. So if you gamify your career and you're reaching your accomplishments, you can go get that designer purse. You can go get that motorcycle or take that trip that you've always wanted to take. Or as simple as a piece of chocolate. So this is just one way to gamify your career. It's just a concept to get you thinking about what can you personally do to make your job a little bit more interesting and to advance you to that next level. It may just be something really simple that you do one day for 10 minutes, or it might be a complex scheme like mine's a little bit more involved where I'm trying to build it and I'm thinking we'll do it by semester and I'm trying to get people involved. Yours does not have to be that. It could be something really simple where maybe your goal is to make 5 phone calls that day. Okay, so it's something really, really simple or really complex. It's based on you, your gamer profile, and where you would like to take it.
Thanks for joining us. Now, get on out there and make something of your career.
And thank you.